Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Super Sleepy Gamer. This is a super special episode. We're celebrating because this is my 5,000th episode. That's right, can you believe that? I've been doing YouTube videos now for 22 years. That's a lot of time. In celebration of that, as you can see, I'm wearing a shirt. That's pretty fancy, right? What you can't see is that I'm also wearing pants. That's how special this is. That's a big deal. This is huge. So what this episode is going to be about to celebrate is I'm going to cover one of my core games, a game that I have loved since I was a kid for a very long time. Now it's part of my core collection. Let me show you my game collection. It's right here. This is the whole thing. I know it doesn't look like a lot of games. But you see, I've been buying a lot of digital games lately, so it's, where are you going to put those? You can't really show them. So, I mean, I still have a couple. It's still a lot, right? It's still good, yeah? So, I'm going to be covering one of these games. That's right, we're going to be covering Secret of Mana. That's right. Some people pronounce it Secret of Mana, and those people are wrong. Alright, you are welcome to, if you hear somebody call it mana, you're welcome to go up to them and tell them they are very wrong, and that you can say that you are better than them because you got it right and they got it wrong. That's fine. That's something that you have the option to do. First thing with any game that I like to talk about, of course, is the cover. Alright, and this game's cover has huge green tree roots. They're huge. And I played the game, obviously, and I didn't find any trees in the game. There was no trees. So I don't know why the tree is there. That's very misleading. The lettering is yellow, and that is to represent the cowardice of your enemies. The game was made by Enix, alright, creators of the Dragon Warrior game, the game that America's always loved, Japan's not so crazy about. Typically, you see, back then, games weren't really known for having great stories, right? So for me, when I played this game, this is like my first Enix game, the story was great. It was amazing. It blew me away. And had a bunch of mature themes. I wasn't ready for that. So, it's late. I need to have coffee. If I don't have coffee around midnight or after midnight, I'll be going to bed. Maybe like a normal person? Maybe a little later? I don't know. It's too early for me. So, I don't want to spoil the whole story for you. But I'll get into it a little bit so you kind of know how it all starts. Alright, so you play as a guy. He's wearing clothes too. You think he was celebrating something with the clothes. That spiky hair, which is strange. You don't really see that in many JRPGs. And you live in a village called Podunk. And in that village, you have a pet. You've grown up with a pet, like a lot of kids do. He is a ninja scythe mantis. Alright. So for some reason, one day, it goes crazy. It causes a huge crater in your village, and it kills some villagers. You are forced to kill your own pet. So the town's nuts. You're grieving because you just had to kill your own pet that you've had for a very long time, that you've raised from a pup, and they kick you out. They're like, no, that you obviously did not raise your pet right. You done messed up. You got to go. Fortunately, though, you run into a guy. Gem from Gem and the Holograms, alright, and he tells you, hey, did you know what mana is? And you're like, no, I've never heard of mana, please tell me, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, that's just it, there's mana, and there's a secret. We don't know what that is. Everybody around the world, we're all trying to figure out, what is the secret of mana? So you're like, oh shit, okay, well, I have no home, so let me go and go find out. Maybe there'll be money involved, right? The main character leaves his town, his happy little town of Podunk, and he, realizes he doesn't have a whole lot of money, so he ends up having to sell his body. Now, this is what I mean. Mature themes that I haven't seen much as a kid, and it's to goblins, all right? So, but before you can do the heinous act, you're actually saved by a girl, and she has hair, she's wearing clothes. The cool thing is that once she saves you, she can actually be played by a second player, so you can play two players simultaneous. I'll tell you more about the mechanics in a moment. The girl, what I like about the story here is that a lot of games try to have stories with the main guy and girl, and there always a love story. Well, this, fortunately, there's no stupid love story you gotta deal with in this. The girl actually likes a knight named Duck. Alright, so you don't have to worry about her hitting on you. You know, she digs your spikes and all that, but you gotta say, hey, you're taken. Alright? Keep her away. So, since you can play multiplayer, the great thing is that I actually had, you know, my gaming buddy at the time would come over and play it with me. The first time that we were going to do that, we were really excited. We bought the game, we were going to play it all night, we were going to lose all kinds of sleep. And my older brother, who was sharing a room with me at the time, was like, you idiots can't go and play this game all night. I have to work tomorrow morning, so stop fucking around. I got to go to sleep. And that was really shitty of him, and it was really disappointing. That's just a personal story, nothing against the game. Alright, so eventually you do actually find a third character. It's a sprite. Now, let me just explain something. Alright, these games back then were 16-bit. Everything was a sprite. So I don't mean to mislead you. Alright, the sprite was a different kind of sprite. It was like a special magical sprite. Or some shit with some fairy sprite or something like that. But then you can play 3 players. I did not ever get around to playing 3 players because, well, I wasn't going to spend the money on a multi-tap, and I also had no friends. So, I mean, I had 1 friend, but there was no way I was going to have two friends over playing this game. I didn't have that many friends, so I didn't do that. I would like to show you one thing that I've had, and this game came out back in 1993, so we're talking 83 years ago at this point. And I've managed to keep the strategy guide. Alright, now as you can see, I've kept this guide in mint condition all these years. Look at this. No warping, no discoloration, no nothing. I show you. This is amazing, alright? And this will tell you all the stuff in the game. You can find all the hidden this. It's a really good guide. It's a really good guide. It helped me out. I kept it as like a collector's item now. Perfect shape. Now back to the game. Talk a little bit maybe about the graphics. All right. Now imagine Skyrim and E.T. for the Atari 2600. So average those two together, and you have the graphics for this game. Very colorful. Characters are animated pretty well. The like I said, the mechanics similar to Zelda. Here's the thing though, is that when you swing, the developers were like, you know, when somebody swings, that's fun. But what we don't want is we don't want people to be able to have fun constantly. So instead of letting them swing and kill enemies over and over again, we're going to have a meter that builds up after every time you swing. You can't swing with your full power again until that meter fills up. Another thing that this game has that you don't see mentioned, like when you go to school, right, you go to college or whatever kind of fucking education you have, they don't teach you this. And this I've learned through a lot of trial and error, is that if you want to heal yourself, if you want to feel like better, right, you eat candy. That's the best thing that you could eat. That'll give you health. So many people, like, they'll mention shit like carrots and broccoli. No. You don't play a game and eat carrots and broccoli to heal yourself, right? Well, that's how it is in real life. The candy heals you. So in this game, you have to carry candy. That's what heals you. So this game got it right. I appreciated that. The music in this game was done by Yuzo Koshiro, so it was really good. In fact, it was so good that when you're playing the game, the music is so good that sometimes when you swing and make a sound effect, some of the music tracks actually drop out. So that's how fucking amazing the music was, alright? It was a freaking musical masterpiece. Eventually in the game, you walk around. There is the way you travel. You walk around, use feet to do the walking. But later on in the game, you get another means of travel. Now, I don't want to ruin that, but let me just tell you that I'm not going to spoil that for you. But I will say that once you do get that last form of traveling, the game stops dragging on. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, this is Masterpiece Soundwave. He is an excellent figure. Really well articulated. He's got little tapes that you can put inside. The tapes transform too. I don't have time to show you that. He has colors. He's blue. There's silver. Eventually, you find out when you play through the game. I'm not gonna spoil this too much, but at the end, you finally you beat the game. You figure out what is the secret of mana, and here's the secret. Mana was actually a ghost all along. That's right. The whole time you were talking to Mana, and the whole time Mana was helping you through all your problems, it turned out Mana was a ghost that entire time. It was helping you figure out other ghost problems, and you thought Mana was just there for Mana, but no, Mana was actually a fucking ghost. That's pretty crazy twist, I know. I talked it up a lot because it's a childhood game, a wonderful game. I would say if you're gonna play this, lose a whole bunch of fucking sleep. If you have responsibilities, if you're a college student, you might as well tell your teachers that, hey, I'm just going to get an F this semester. You don't worry about it. I know it costs thousands of dollars to take these courses. It's no problem. I got to play Secret of Mana. That's what Sleepy Gamer told me. Or if you have a job, you quit. Take a hiatus. If they expect you to show up, they are already expecting too much. Stay up all night, lose a whole bunch of sleep, and play this damn game. All right, everybody, that's the best advice I can give you. Play this damn game. I hope everybody has a lovely evening of not sleeping and playing games. See you later, guys. Bye.